Hello, if you are considering going into data analysis in 2025, this is the path I'll recommend. I'm not saying that it is the best, but based on my experience and what I've learned so far, this is the path I'll recommend, especially if you are seeking to become a data analyst in Nigeria. I'll say you start with Excel. Excel is just necessary. It's like a no-brainer. You just have to start with Excel. Excel is necessary in data cleaning, making sure that the format of the data is consistent. You can also use Excel for some level of data visualization. You start with Excel. I can't say how long you spend learning Excel so as to be able to analyze data with it, clean data with it, and so on, because it depends on your situation. Someone who is unemployed may, like I said, devote his entire day to learning a new tool or a new software. But someone who's already working, who's hustling in Lagos, may not have as much time to learn. So he who is unemployed may find out that in 2 months, I'm just saying it depends on the individual and the situation, but he who is unemployed may find that in 2 months maybe he's good to go with Excel, like he knows what is necessary in using Excel for analysis. But someone who's working, who's trying to transition into data analysis may spend like 1 or 2 hours. When you come back from work, you may be tired, you spend your energy at work, so it's not really easy. You delving into learning when you come back from work. But it's possible people do that. People even go into learning new courses when they come back from work. So if you want to learn Excel, you may have to spend like I say 1 or 2 hours a day. Now that can take you longer to master the necessary skills in using Excel to an advanced level such that you can use it to analyze data. So that's it. You start with Excel. The second one I suggest you go into after Excel is SQL. In this case, initially I was saying you use MySQL. That's in maybe I think a former video. But now I will recommend you start with Microsoft SQL Server, because a lot of companies in Nigeria, a lot use Microsoft SQL Server, because it comes from the same Microsoft from which we get our Excel, from which we get Power BI. So Microsoft SQL Server after Excel, you can write queries, query a database, create tables, manipulate and do some other things with data. So I would say you go into SQL second. The third, Power BI. For someone who's based in Nigeria, I recommend Power BI over Tableau. Well, Tableau has a steeper learning curve than Power BI. I think I can say so, but you should start with Power BI. I'm sorry. So that's it for data visualization. With Power BI, you can even transform data, and when you go into it, you learn some interesting stuff with Power BI. So, and then now, if you know how to use Microsoft Excel, SQL Server, and Power BI to a good extent to analyze and visualize data, or to clean, analyze and visualize data, and I think you are job ready. Yeah, I'll say you are job ready. Yeah, at that point. Although some people may be lucky and get a job when they master the Excel or Excel and SQL. So it depends on what the particular company that you're applying to wants. Now, it is when you let's say learn these 3 tools to a good extent that if you decide, if there is a reason to, it is not compulsory, and in some cases not even necessary, but if there's a reason to, you can then delve into Python. That is, it now depends if it is important, or maybe if you've gotten a job as a data analyst and then you realize that at a point Python will become necessary, because Python can handle volumes of records, multi-millions, billions of records. Python can do that better than Excel. So that would depend for Python. So Python should be the last, if at all you delve into it. So that is the order I recommend if you want to go into data analysis field in 2025: Microsoft Excel, Microsoft SQL Server, and Power BI. Then, if necessary, Python. So, of course, along with these libraries, pandas, matplotlib, and so on. So, that is it. Now, you also have to decide, if in the process of learning about data analysis, if you find a job that combines some level of analysis together with some other functions. For instance, you may say you want to get a job as a data analyst. Fine, you've looked at the situation, maybe your interest aligns with data analysis, no problem. You go in, you start learning about it. So, question: if you find a job that maybe faces client, like let me just say client relations / analyst, in which you face the clients, you get some data, and then the job requires you, apart from facing the clients, to also analyze the data you've gotten from clients to inform business decisions. So you can say it's not just only about data analysis, also facing a client. It has to do with some client relations where the active listening skills is necessary, organization, problem solving. Now, if you want to go into data analysis, if you find such a role that combines some level of analysis with other functions, are you willing to go into it? Is that something you are considering? Because in our goal to achieve, in our journey to achieve a particular goal, there can be what we end up getting may not be exactly what we intended getting from the beginning. It does not mean that it is bad. But situation differs. And who knows? Okay, you are having a job as, let me just say a secretary, and you are aiming to become a data analyst. And at the end, you get a job, you see an opportunity for client relations / analyst, in which you are doing a level of analysis and you're also facing client. Yes, you didn't get there where you are using tools like Python, SQL, and so on, but at least one of your foot is now in analysis, and you moved away from that secretarial position that you were hoping or planning to get away from. So when you come across that opportunity, would you take it? These are things you need to consider. You have to consider along your way. Yes, you may not have gotten the exact job that you really want, but remember that you are not in your previous level, so some level of progress has been made. So in your journey to a particular goal, to achieve an aim you have in mind, you may not get there in a straight line. It's likely to be a zigzag, movement, a zigzag journey. But as you make that zigzag path, go through that zigzag path here, you find out that you are not going backwards. At least when you move forward, and then it seems as if you moved a little bit backward, you are not back to the previous position you were. So it's like going to level 3, stepping back to level 2. Level 2 is not level 1 where you are. And then from level 2, you are going to level 5. From 5, you are stepping back to level 4. From 4, you are going to 8. From 8, you are coming back to, let's say, 6. So that zigzag route is still an upward movement overall. I don't know. I hope this, let's say, metaphor is clear. So that is what I will recommend, my personal opinion, for someone seeking to go into data analysis field in 2025.